Now, where are you from?
Grand Rapids, Michigan, Gun Rule, 616.
Still living there?
Yeah, I'll be back and forth. I live in Gary, Indiana right now. I went to school down there and shit.
How old were you when you made that move initially from Grand Rapids to Gary?
I was about 23.
Oh, so...
Yeah, that shit was real soon. I went down there for school.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah.
How far apart is Gary and Grand Rapids?
It's about 2 hours, 15 minutes. So it ain't nothing for real.
In regards to Grand Rapids, though, if people watching this aren't familiar with the name of that city, what's the closest major city one would be familiar with?
Shit, we 2 hours from Detroit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, what was it like for you growing up in Grand Rapids? Can you paint that picture for us?
Shit, when I was younger, it was cool, you know what I'm saying? It was mad shit to do. Shit, it was like, I used to go to the King Park. Anybody from Grand Rapids, everybody know where King Park at, Went down there, you could play basketball, football. I played on the football team and the basketball team. We had the summer league and shit, everybody. That shit was popping. Everybody used to go down there and shit, Shit, that's basically it. Everybody know, like, if you know me from Grand Rapids, everybody know, like, I'm a hooper type shit. I just transitioned into this music shit for real.
So you were big into sports.
Exactly.
Sounds like you had a pretty good upbringing.
Yeah.
Not a rough one?
Not for real. Like, everybody gonna go through some shit, you know what I'm saying? It was just me and my mom. But she steered me in the right direction. I came out good.
Didn't grow up poor?
No.
Lower middle class, upper middle class?
Shit, I lived
Rich?
No. Shit, I wish, I'll say like lower middle.
Okay.
Shit, I lived in apartments, shit, damn near forever. I only had like 2 houses for real. But shit, my mom always tried to make a way for real.
I see. Apartments, well, there's apartments in rough parts of town. There's apartments in decent parts of town.
Yeah.
Was it a rough part of town you were in? Decent?
No, it wasn't. It was regular, like cool.
Were there any times where you struggled growing up? Any obstacles growing up for you?
Shit, living in a single parent home, shit, that shit was hard. My mom always working, shit, barely at the crib. I'm never seeing her, so shit, I was just doing whatever the fuck I wanted to do, for real.
What happened to your father?
They broke up when I was about 10, I'll say. Shit, we lived together, like, from like when I was born till I was 10, then they split up.
You had a 2-parent household?
Yeah.
And then they split?
When I was younger, yeah.
And you stayed with your mom?
Yeah.
Did you see your dad?
Shit, it was like a time span where I ain't see that nigga for a minute. Probably like a year and a half. I ain't talked to him or nothing.
Where are you at these days, relationship-wise, you and your father?
We got back cool, like, I'll say about 2 years ago. That's when we got closer and shit. As I got older and shit, we be smoking and shit now. It's straight now.
How did that relationship repair itself? You came to him, he came to you. What happened?
I'll say it's like both, because I think we got closer when I got sick. I had like a stomach problem. I was fucked up for months. Like, I was real fucked up. And then he gave me like some shit to make my stomach feel better. And then we started talking and shit. We was smoking and shit together. We got close to like doing that shit.
Did you have another male figure in your life when he was gone?
Shit, my uncle Crunchy, he always looked out. Always, ever since I was a little nigga.
Uncle on your mom's side or dad's side?
Yeah, my mom's side.
As a kid, did you get into trouble?
It was like off and on, you know. Most shit, I ain't never got like suspended or nothing. I just had like mad detentions and shit. But shit, I was always cool with the teachers and shit, so they ain't never like want to do nothing like severe with me and shit. And I was on the team too, so everybody knew me on the hooping team, so they ain't really want to punish me like that.
In regards to your father, and you being growing up in a single parent household, let's say somebody's watching this and they're in a similar situation.
Right.
The roles could be reversed. It could be living with their father and away from their mom and single father household. But let's say somebody's watching this and they have to deal with the split of their parents.
Yeah.
Now they go from a 2-parent household to 1. Any general advice, because circumstances could be different for everybody, but any general advice to somebody watching this having to go through those motions themselves? Anything you would tell them?
Shit, when they split up, I feel like I had to man up for real, you know. Shit, I feel like I was the man of the house, you know. Basically, you just gotta, shit, it ain't your fault, so shit, you can't do nothing about it, so you just gonna have to deal with what you got, you know what I'm saying, for real.
What did this teach you? What did you learn from this, the split, being under a single parent roof?
Shit, it happens, you know. Shit, most of my boys, shit, they grew up like that. So that shit like normal, for real, for real. Everybody, shit, when motherfuckers be saying they had both parents, I'm like, damn, for real, like, that shit's like rare as hell, you know.
When you had to become the man of the house, did you have to financially become responsible in that role?
Not when I was younger, but like as I got older, I felt like I had to step it up for sure, for sure.
What age are we talking?
Teenager
or
yeah,
life after a teenager?
Yeah, teenager.
Did it ever lead to any street activity?
Definitely.
To get money?
Yeah, definitely.
It did.
Yeah.
How young did that sort of thing start?
I'll say about about 20, but I was already like out the crib by then, but I was still like helping my mom and shit.
You were asked to do so, or?
No, I did that shit by myself, cause shit, my mom always working. Like every time like people ask about my mom, they're like, she's still working all them jobs. Like that shit, I can't stand it. I'm tired of her working all them jobs, you know what I'm saying? She can't just work her whole life, you know what I'm saying? I get to do nothing, like take vacations and shit, so I had to step it up for real.
What type of street activity did you get into exactly?
You know, selling, like, you know, had to get with the weed and shit, but other than that, none.
Did you, before you even got into that, maybe even younger, were you selling like other things like candy or things of that nature?
Yeah, like at school we had like big ass candy like boxes and shit. I forgot what that shit was for. Like I don't even know what the money went to. Like it's like they ain't even tell us where the money went to for real.
Like a fundraiser type of thing?
Yeah, that type of shit. It was motherfuckers at my school that was buying mad candy. Wasn't even like in that shit, just buying mad candy and selling that shit for the high, for real, for real.
Did you get into that?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah.
Do you think that became a gateway into selling drugs at some point?
No, I feel like I chose that, you know. I feel like that shit ain't really, it just, if anything, it taught me how to sell shit for real.
Were you influenced? Were you peer pressured?
No, definitely not peer pressure. I got my own brain. You know, can't nobody tell me something I don't want to do.
Was it greed? Was it curiosity?
No, it's just like shit. You gotta step it up. You know what I'm saying? You just can't be out here broke, you know. Just gotta basically step it up for real. That shit.
A lot of people step it up and they get a job, maybe 2 jobs, maybe 3 jobs.
Yeah, I had a couple jobs. But shit, I feel like that shit wasn't cutting it.
You could have made another decision. You didn't have to go the street activity route.
No, definitely. But shit, it's easier. I can't just be working for somebody. I don't like that shit. Like supervisors and shit. Like I used to be wanting to beat their ass, all that shit. Like they talk to you crazy, like they better than you. And we getting paid the exact same. Like it is not that serious.
Looking back, dealing with the streets, that can be a very risky option.
Yeah.
There's consequences that can come from that. There's stresses that can come from that. There's that looking over your shoulder feeling that can come from that. There's violence.
Exactly.
Jail, prison time.
Exactly.
Worst case scenario, death. Did you know this stuff from the jump?
Yeah, you know what you're getting yourself into. You just gotta, shit, take it for what it is, for real.
Was there any regrets on what you've done?
No, cause that shit, God know my heart, you know. Shit, I feel like I ain't out doing no greedy shit. Like, yeah, just God know my heart. I ain't out here to be a kingpin and shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying to get by, for real.
Was it worth it? Was the risk worth the reward, or what you got out of it?
Definitely. I feel like it definitely was. I feel like, shit, I'm just doing this shit to help my mom, for real. All that shit. Everything I do is to help my mom, for real. All this music shit, everything.
Did you hide this stuff from her? Not the music stuff.
At first I did.
The street activity.
My mom cool, so I feel like I could tell my mom anything. If I robbed a bank, you know what I'm saying, I could hide the bread at my mom's crib. You know, I feel like she told me, like, man, like, I shouldn't be doing that shit because niggas be snitching and shit. That shit just don't happen for long, you know what I'm saying? Like, that shit just don't last long. So she always tried to, like, tell me, like, not to do that shit, but shit, she just told me to be careful, for real.
What about school? What kind of kid were you in class? I mean, I know you did sports, so
Yeah.
you were an athlete, but
Exactly.
aside from that, would you describe yourself any other way, or for the most part, an athlete?
Man, when I was in school, I didn't give a fuck about grades, for real. I just was trying to just hoop, for real. Shit, the school I was at, they ain't really teach you nothing like that. It was motherfuckers with all Fs and 1D still playing on the team, so it's like, then we had a good team too, so everybody that hooped, it was basically good, for real.
How good were you?
Shit, I feel like I was good. Like, everybody know me, like, back in Grand Rapids, they know, like, I do that hooping shit, everybody.
What position?
Point guard.
Good enough to get some sort of athletic scholarship?
Yeah. That's what I went to school for. I went to college too.
Ah. Division I, Division II?
No, my grades weren't good enough to go D1. I was getting letters from D1s though, but then shit, they was like, send your transcripts. Sent them that, never heard from them again, you know what I'm saying, type shit. So I had to go JUCO first.
Explain, for somebody watching that doesn't know, is it a certain grade point average, or is it a certain test score that stopped you from getting to be a D1?
Shit, test scores, grade point average, all that shit. I had like a 1.9 in high school. And then, shit, the ACT, we take ACTs, like, so my shit was low as hell. I fell asleep on that bitch, for real.
I mean, there's always a stereotype when it comes to, like, the athletes in school or the jocks in school that, you know, like, they're dumb, right? They're good at sports or whatever they're playing. Their talent is good, but dumb as a box of rocks. Is that true?
Shit.
Does that stereotype hold?
Shit, it's some dumb motherfuckers, but I definitely ain't dumb. I just really ain't care. I just did enough to get by, for real. Like, whenever I applied myself, I was on, like, the honor roll. Shit, I was even on the honor roll in college. Like, that shit easy, for real. I just didn't care, for real.
If you would have known what you know now, though, would you have taken it serious or cared more so you could have made it to a D1 school?
Definitely. I definitely would have cared more. Like, I really ain't think about, like I always thought about college and going to college and hooping in college, but I never really thought about it till, like, junior, senior year. Like, you got to start applying for colleges and all that other shit. Motherfuckers getting accepted, and I'm like, damn, I tried to get accepted in there, and then shit, they was denying my ass. So I had to go the JUCO route.
Was it a possibility you could have just walked on to a D1 school? You might not have been given an athletic scholarship, but could you have walked on?
Probably, but I had too much pride for that. They treated them niggas like they weren't nothing there. Like, when I was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, I played for the KVCC, Kalamazoo Valley Community College. And like, we used to be playing against Western Michigan, like in open gym and shit. And, like, we used to be busting their ass. But shit, it was just my grades and shit like that held me back for real.
Was it never told to you? Like, were you never advised or guided by coaches or school teachers, hey, you need to get these grades if you're trying to do this D1 stuff?
At Godwin, hell no. They just want you to be good enough to play on the team. Then after you graduate, they don't give a fuck about you. They don't even, shit, you'll come back, they don't even say nothing to you for real. So they ain't give a fuck. They just use you for for your talent and shit, and then moved on to the next year.
So you found out when it was too late.
Exactly.
If you would have found out this information in a early enough time, would you have listened to it and heeded towards it, or probably still wouldn't care? I mean, we're talking hypothetically, so.
Yeah. I feel like I would have took heed to it. Like, I'm not like a stubborn person. Like if you tell me something, I think about it. Even if I think it's wrong, you know what I'm saying? I still like try to pick the good about it.
So you are in the sports. You did talk about music was a transition for you, but you weren't doing music while you were in school.
My sophomore year I did.
College, or we talking high school?
No, high school. I always loved music ever since I was young. Like, that was my first love for real. Like,
you were rapping in high school?
Yep, I did. I started off rapping with my boy Rope. We came out with a little mixtape and shit. We were selling them bitches for $3 around the school.
So, sophomore.
Yeah.
Did you battle classmates?
Nah.
Weren't into that.
Nah, hell no, I ain't never battled. I even used to be rapping to my boy in middle school, like I used to just be like at the crib in middle school, like trying to think of a rap so I could rap to him in the morning, and shit for breakfast and shit. So like anybody who know me, they always know like I love music. Like,
what about talent shows? You ever done any of them?
No, cause shit, I was always a hooper. Like, I didn't really take music serious until about shit last year.
While you were in college?
Yeah.
What
shit, after my eligibility was gone, and they screwed me over in hooping and shit.
And we'll talk about that in a little bit. Right. So never performed at any of your pep rallies or anything like that either?
Hell no. I wasn't even thinking about rapping. I'm just thinking about trying to go to the league.
So explain. You ended up going to a Division II school?
No, I went to an NAIA.
Oh, okay.
Because even my grades in JUCO wasn't even good enough for real.
So what school actually did you get a scholarship from, an athletic scholarship from?
For like JUCO or a university?
Explain how it works.
Out of high school I went
Does the JUCO and the university work together? Is that how it works or no?
Nah.
Okay.
But out of high school I went to KVCC, Kalamazoo Valley Community College. That's in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I went there for 2 years. But my first year I went there, my first year, shit, wasn't eligible after the next semester. It sounds like I'm a dumbass nigga for real, but that shit far from the case. It was just like, I just wasn't prepared to like know how to study for real, you know? The whole atmosphere, all that shit, it was just, and it was my first time really being like out the crib. I had my own spot. It was just a lot. And I went there for 2 years. The second year I didn't play. The coach was on some other shit because since I was ineligible the last year, like I needed like to take more classes or something. Like I ain't take a summer class or something. And the coach wasn't fucking with me then because we got a new coach after the first year. So I transferred. I went to Jackson Community College That's in Jackson, Michigan.
Does your scholarship go with you? Or did you
Nope.
lose your scholarship
Nope.
after the ineligibility?
Yep, I lost that shit. And I went to Jackson, Michigan. And my dad's side of the family, they from Jackson. So my dad knew the coach. He from Jackson and shit too. So I went up there for a tryout, made the team. They gave me a scholarship. I couldn't play. Like right before school started, they said I couldn't play. I was ineligible because all my like grades didn't transfer over. So I'm like, damn, that's another setback. So I was just practicing with them and shit. And then the next year I played, we got a whole new coach again. And the next year I played, I did good. I got like, what's that shit called? Like all conference, all conference. I was getting looked at by Division II schools, all that shit. And then like my boy down at Texas, he was trying to get me where he was at. The coach was talking to my coach, telling everything, like telling my stats, all that shit. They were saying they was gonna come and like check me out. But my boy told me that my Jackson coach was telling them like not to call or not to come up or something like that, like some hating ass shit. So I ain't do that. Then I sat out a year after that. So I sat out, I was working at Jimmy Jazz and shit with my boy Tom. I sat out a year. Then it was another dude that I played for KVCC. I played on the same team with him. Well, I didn't play that year. He came the year I sat out at KVCC. And he from Gary, that's where I ended up at. And he told me about his coach, saying they needed players. I went down there. Well, I was fucking them up, you know what I'm saying? And the first day I went down there, the coach was saying they wanted me to come down there. So that's how I ended up in Gary.
Did you end up getting a scholarship there?
Yeah.
So at this point, you're still in college or you're done with college?
What, right now?
Period.
No, I'm done. I graduated.
You did graduate?
Yeah, I graduated in May.
Oh, okay. So you did all 4 years.
Yeah, man, shit, that shit was more than 4 years.
But 3 separate schools?
Yeah.
More than 4 years?
Hell yeah, that shit was more. I was eligible, shit, withdrawing, all that shit, man. I only did that shit for my mom, for real. Like, she said, like, man, just get your degree. She never made me, like, even when I wanted to quit, like, shit when I was younger, she never told me to quit. She always just made me finish that shit, no matter what it was.
What kind of degree did you get?
A bachelor's.
But in a specific major?
General studies. At first, I was doing business when I was at KVCC, but I really wasn't feeling that shit. He was trying to do, what's that shit called? Accounting. And I wasn't fucking with that shit. That shit was too damn hard for me. That shit, I even withdrew from that shit in high school. So I wasn't fucking with that shit. And then I changed my shit to kinesiology. I was trying to be like an athletic trainer type shit, but they don't get no bread in that shit. So I'm like, nah, fuck that shit. Then I just changed my shit to general studies because I didn't know what the fuck I want to do.
So did you get a degree just to get a degree to please your mom? Or did you get a degree that you can apply? And if you're not doing music, you can apply later down the road and it'll make sense, or no? Like, for lack of a better phrase, is this a BS degree you got?
No, shit, it's still a lot of motherfuckers don't graduate college. You know what I'm saying? Like, motherfuckers don't even go to their senior year. A lot of motherfuckers just be going to get what's that shit called?
Their AA, associate's degree?
No, just like the check that you get just from going to school.
Oh, the refund check?
The refund, yeah. Motherfuckers just be going for that shit and then shooting out. So it's definitely in the BS degree. That shit means something.
I don't want to say refund check. Maybe like
no, that's what it was.
Check?
The refund. Like,
oh, okay.
A refund.
Or financial aid check.
Yeah, that's the same thing, basically.
Okay. Now, looking back, was that the right major to get, or do you wish you would have gotten a different major, chose a different? I mean, knowing what you know now, hindsight 2020.
Man, I really don't care what it was for real. I'm just happy I got that motherfucker. I was tired of going to school. And I just want to do this music shit, so that I feel like it came at a perfect time.
You did get it for free.
Yeah.
We got a free college education.
Exactly.
Did you rap at all while you were in college?
No, I wasn't even thinking about music. Like, I'm just all trying to, shit, at least go overseas, you know? I even tried out for a semi-pro team, and they was fucking with me up in Chicago. They was called The Storm, but, like, I was hearing, like, too much bad shit about them. Like, there was janky promoters, like, it's a nigga that's just trying to take your bread. I even looked them up, and, like, they was having articles saying that they was janky and shit. So I wasn't fucking with them, like, cause I ain't got time for that shit. So I just, like, it was like a little period when I wasn't doing shit for real. I was just, like, on some depressed shit for real. Like, I don't know what the fuck I'm gonna do. Like, my whole life I always wanted to, like, hoop or do, like, basically just hoop for real. So I was depressed as hell, like, so I didn't know what the fuck I wanted to do. And then some just told me, like, shit, you good at this music shit, so start that shit.
What happened with overseas basketball?
Man, I ain't, you gotta have an agent basically to do that type of shit. Like, I ain't have an agent, I ain't have no, like, legitimate connects. So I'm like, man, fuck that shit. Like, just do something else you good at, for real.
Why not be a basketball coach?
Man, I ain't got the patience for that shit. I ain't got time to be getting stressed out over niggas doing dumb shit and all that shit. I ain't had time for that.